So I've understated how much I love this CushCore. This has come in so handy so many times. Now, first things first, CushCore is not going to stop you from cutting your tyres. It's not going to stop you from pinch flat, like snake bite, your bead. It's not going to stop you from cutting the top of your tyre with a sharp rock. But it will protect your rim 100%. I've had it for, I'm going to say 2 years. I'm going to say close to 2 years. I've had this bike for 2 years. I've had the DT Swiss EX511 for basically 2 years on the back of it. Now, the only time I haven't run the CushCore in this is when I've had a downhill tyre on it. So, downhill tyres, I should, knowing what I know now, I'll probably run the CushCore on every tyre that I've got on the back, protect those wheels. But the DH compounds, I usually run a double down aggressor, which is my go-to. Double down aggressor and a CushCore, but the aggressors have been coming, all of the aggressors I've bought, the last 3, have been wobbles. They've been massive wobbles. I haven't sent them back, haven't messed around with warranty or anything, because it's just a hassle and it's more burden on the local shop, and you know, it is what it is. But even still, this thing, I was riding the other day at Eagle with a couple of friends, flatted at the back on the more or less the first run. Got down and decided, yeah, bugger, I'll climb up anyway. Cruise up with the boys, and it was barely slower on the climb. Tyre was flat. This thing was, it makes a huge difference. You get a flatty and you still got CushCore in, you got no worries. The bead doesn't slip, nothing slips, the tyre doesn't come out, it doesn't wave around or blurt out. It still stays more or less sealed on the bead of the rim. And I just chugged up the hill. It was no worries. I could have climbed 1,000 meters with the tyre like that. I'm being completely honest. It was super easy, and I've done that a couple of times. I've had to climb out of somewhere a couple of times with a flat tyre with a CushCore on the back. Now, that double down cut that I got, it wasn't really from Eagle. It was a cut that I got riding on the street. I rode over a heap of broken porcelain, or looked like chinaware on the ground. Cut the top of the tyre. I plugged it. It was okay, but losing a bit of air every now and then, and just certain compressions at Eagle has split it open further, bigger split, and tyre went flat. So I was on the CushCore. Finished the run, no worries, smashed the run with a flat tyre and CushCore. I've ridden down some gnarly stuff with a flat tyre with CushCore, and it's the best. Now, longevity, let's have a look. So it's the standard CushCore 27.5. They call it extra light. This one's called the extra light. So, yeah, look there, extra light. But it was the standard CushCore at the time when I got it a couple of years ago. Millions, not millions, hundreds of cuts, hundreds of these little compressions where that would have smashed the rim, smashed the rim, smashed the rim, smashed the rim. Well, not destroyed the rim, but obviously broken. Put dents in the rim and weather the rim, pepper your rim. So look at all these cuts. There are so many, both sides, and on the top. If you look on the top, squealy lines, but none of them have actually penetrated and opened up the whatever foam this is. It's sealed. The only place you can see it is the injection. I believe this is the injection mold, so you can see how it is. Doesn't uptake any sealant. It's killer. The only thing I'd say is a little bit annoying to put in and out. Taking the tyre off, you definitely kind of want a tool. CushCore actually does a tool, like a hand tool, so you can bust that bead into the center channel of your rim. But outside of the fitting and removing process, it's a no-brainer for me. It's definitely a no-brainer for me. So $130 each, I think they are, something like that, or $250 for a pair. That's Australian. Not sure what the prices are overseas, but it's the best. I run a Fetto Mariposa in the front, which is a real thin kind of rim protection, which is cool. It's enough for the front. I don't pay any attention to the low pressure. You can run your tyres lower pressure and rah. Some situations I like to run. You know what? Soon I'm going to do a video where I'm just doing tyre pressures. I'm going to go, little short trail or a section of trail, low tyre pressure, high tyre pressure, and my opinion of optimal tyre pressure. And we'll see what the differences are and see how it feels. But if you're going to do the lower tyre pressure, you have to have a CushCore or a Rim Pact or a Vittoria Airliner or something robust. ARD, Nuke Proof ARD. So the reason I like this so much is because it tightens. So when you fit it, I like to stretch it out. I like to spend a lot of time just stretching. Not so much that you snap it, but really give it a good stretch. And it always returns to snug on the rim. It takes maybe, anywhere between a minute and a few minutes to become snug again. But it always returns to snug on the rim. It's 2 years down the track, it's still snug on the rim. So that's what holds your bead in place, your tyre in place. And that's what will get you down the hill if you get a flat tyre, and get you back up the hill if you get a flat tyre. That holding the tyre on, which you don't get with the ARD, you don't get with the Airliner, you don't get it with any of the other ones. You get it with the Rim Pact to a point, I'm assuming. But this thing's strong. 200 odd grams, I think, each, or 180 grams each, something like that. It's not light, but to me, worth every cent. Absolutely worth every cent. It saved this rim. I could have had to rebuild 2 rims since I built this thing if no CushCore and I was slamming it into the stuff that I've slammed it into. So this back wheel's been on the back of all the hardtails, all the mullets, all the every bike that I've tested that I've turned into a mullet. This back tyre has been the tyre. So this back wheel has been the wheel. So it's had an absolute beating, and only ever minor tickle ups, maintenance on it. And have a look at it. Runs super true. It's killer. So I was talking to a fella on the trails, Rob, not long ago, yesterday actually, and we were talking about the not the Rim Pack, we were talking about the ARD and the CushCore, and he got me thinking, kind of got the juices flowing again, and it's definitely the CushCore. For me, it's definitely the CushCore. The ARD's much easier. The ARD's more like my backyard bob one that I did a while ago. It'll do the job, it's quite cheap, and it's quite effective, to be honest. It'll be effective, easier to get out if you do get a flat and you want to put a tube in, you wrap it around. This thing you can wrap it over you, or you'll work out a way to get it nice and snug, whether you're doing a couple of bloody loops or something, and you try. It's probably pretty sketchy actually. You might just have to ride down the trail like that. But yeah, CushCore all the way. So I got this from Bike Sports Oz, I believe it was. They sent me out some CushCores at the very start of, I think it was when I still had my Remedy, to be honest. And yeah, they've done me well. They've done me very, very well. So thank you, Bike Sports Oz, and thanks Whippet's Workshop for teeing that up as well, for sure. And get in and get yourself a CushCore.